My name is RainyRentyn, and today I'll be explaining how I did my makeup for Persephone from Olympus. So, one of the first things you're going to want to do is put in your contacts. You can put them in later, but it's just so much easier to put them in first, so I definitely recommend it. I start off body paint the same way I start off any makeup look, with pore filler and color corrector. The color corrector just evens out your skin tone so that when you put on body paint, it's also very even. This is my blush palette from Daiso. It was just $1.50, it's really cheap. I usually use an Aqua Color 03. I do have a Mehron Paradise in light pink and one in white in case I need to blend some colors together. For this look I ended up just using the Aqua Color 03 and the Aqua Color R22. Apply chapstick to your lips before painting your face. I cannot recommend this enough. Body paint does dry out your skin and dries out your lips when you put it on there, so it's good to just have some chapstick on there to start with. So I'm wetting my brush and putting on the makeup and starting to paint. That's what I really love about Krylon Aqua Color or any water-based paint, is that it's very easy to apply. It's kind of like just painting a canvas, but on your face. I got kind of lazy with using the brush, so I just started using my fingers. For the first layer, you don't have to be that exact. After the first layer was kind of all over my face, I decided to start using the R22. I tried to get my face as bright as possible because in the Olympus, Persephone's skin matches her hair, so even though I knew I couldn't get to the raspberry color that my wig is in the back, I tried to get as bright as possible, and it did take a couple layers. I'm also not afraid to get really close to my eyes. If you're not comfortable doing that, you don't have to. You can use eyeshadow later to fill in the spots, but I like to get as much body paint as I can on any part of my face. It does take quite a bit of time to layer, so just be patient. Between coats, I like to use a hairdryer because, for one, I'm lazy and I'm also very impatient, so it's just a little bit faster to dry it with the hairdryer. Whenever you do a layer of paint, once you're finished with that layer, I definitely recommend using the hairdryer or letting it dry completely. One tip is when you're getting to the later layers, make sure not to have your brush as wet as you did on the first layer. What you don't want to do is take off the other layers of paint with the brush. After my paint has dried and I feel pretty happy with it, I like to use baby powder to kind of seal it. So I put a bunch of it in a little jar or whatever, and I put on as much as possible. Don't be afraid to use quite a bit. It's not going to edit your paint in any way. It does sometimes make it a little bit lighter, but that's the only thing that's going to happen. It is very important that your paint is as dry as possible, because if you put baby powder on paint that's not completely dry, it's going to look really white and cakey. So just make sure you're completely dried off. This whole process is just a lot of paint, hair dry, and then powder once you feel pretty happy with it. We're going to finish powdering it up, and then we'll move on to the next bit. I like to start off with my eyebrows, and also cleaning up any spots that are patchy. And to do that, I use whatever pink that I have, hopefully one that matches, to kind of fill in where there's any patchiness. So usually near my eyes where I didn't want to get super close, and near my lips where it just tends to have a little bit of issue. I'm not recommending to use anything that I used here necessarily. If you have palettes that you like or colors that you like, feel free to use those. I am just showing you guys that I'm using these colors in particular. For characters that have very specific eyebrows, I would usually cover up my brows with the glue method, but for characters like Persephone, Starfire, because their eyebrows are just kind of standard eyebrows, I just fill in the ones that I have. This is just showing the difference between an eyebrow that's done and an eyebrow that's not. So I finish up the other one, and then I get to work on my eyes. For body paint, do not be afraid to really go heavy. Sometimes, because it is a paint and it's not your normal skin, makeup, eyeshadow, and such like that will have trouble sticking, so just put as much as you can. Also, when you're using a ring light, or you're going to be on stage for any reason, it's actually good to really overdo your makeup, because lights on stage or a ring light will wash you out. If you want your hard work to be seen, then just go heavy. For contour and highlighting, I literally used just eyeshadow that I had to cover up and contour out my face. The palettes that I was using had a lot of shimmer, and it's because I wanted to really look bright. I mean, she is a goddess, so I went really shimmery at any point that I could. That little black thing I'm holding is just so I can change between colors. I had to go really hard on my blush because it was not sticking very well. I used my blush to contour my neck and collarbones as well, just so it didn't look so flat in photos. Now we get to eyeliner. For soft characters, I really like to do a black over white eyeliner, so I start with a white line, and that's just to make my eyes really pop. Once the white is done, I do go over with a black eyeliner. My favorite eyeliner is actually a Sailor Moon eyeliner from Japan. The one that I'm using here is not that one, just because I couldn't find it, but worked just as fine. Make sure that if you use white eyeliner, you do use mascara. And of course, we're going to put on our falsies, make our eyes look super big. Then I like to use some white eyeliner to put in my waterline, just to really make my eyes pop. For her look, because she does go to college, I was thinking of a college Persephone. I didn't have a white dress, so I thought this was the next best thing. Went for a floral shirt since, goddess of spring and all that. The wig that I'm using here is a cheap Amazon wig, so I don't recommend this for a full cosplay, but for a makeup test it worked just fine. When I eventually cosplay her in full, I will get a nicer wig. Probably an Arda one. I did end up having to cut the wig a little bit and edit it because it was just not working out for me, so I made those corrections as needed. I ended up painting my hands off screen just for my photos, but that's why I had a jacket that was pretty long, so I didn't have to paint my entire arm. I ended up just pushing the hair back into my jacket to get some photos of her with short hair. To finish up, I do put on the lipstick. I like to put on the lipstick after my wig is on, just so my wig hairs don't get in the lipstick. I have had that happen on quite a couple wigs before, so it's just better for me to do it after. The color I used was just a super bright pink that I had. Pink and orange body paint does make your teeth look way more yellow in photos, just because the warmness of your skin is really bringing out the worms in your teeth. So know that you may have to edit that. I didn't edit that out, but if I was doing a major photo shoot, I might, depending on how bad it looked. For this, I was just fixing up any spots that I thought were a little too bright or not bright enough, so make edits as needed. And then some lip gloss, so it looks nice in photos. And we're done. These photos are straight from my phone. I did take them in an app called Snow, but I didn't edit them otherwise. I made sure to turn off all of the face editing things in Snow, so they're pretty accurate. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed.